We take questions from our listeners every week in our little quick fire round. Obviously, you invoke a lot of enthusiasm from people. So we got a lot of questions for you this week. I've culled through them to make sure that they are nice. And we're going to take some questions from listeners. You can send us your questions for our guests at Politicon on Instagram and on Twitter, and via email, podcasts@politicon.com. Ooh, I think I got that out. Sean from Annapolis wants to know, what would it take to disqualify Trump in your mind?
To disqualify Trump?
What would it take to make, what is there anything he could do to make you not like him?
There's a lot of things he could do to make me not like him. To disqualify him legally, I mean, it would have to be a legal disqualification. I'm
going to change the question. Yeah.
To disqualify him in my mind.
I'm going to change the question because I understand why it's confusing. So I'm with you. But sorry, Sean. Is there anything that the president could do to make you not want to vote for him?
Not over Joe Biden, because the future of our country is at stake. So there's very little that our president could do. I guess the only thing that would make me vote for Joe Biden is Donald Trump came out tomorrow and said, I'm going to take your guns, I'm going to keep your businesses closed, and I'm going to open up our borders. So basically, Joe Biden's agenda.
Is there anything he's done that you've not, what has he done that you've not liked?
The First Step Act, actually. I don't believe in releasing.
Really?
Right. And there's a lot of back and forth about that. But if you look at some of the people that were released under the First Step Act, you'll find that it's people that should not have been released. And again, because I lived in California for 3 years, I know what reclassifying felonies as misdemeanors and messing with that and your reclassifications, I know what you end up with on your streets. So that I was not happy with the First Step Act. And other than that, I think he did everything that he could do with immigration. There's only so much you can do when the other side doesn't play ball. And there's only so much you can do when the rhinos that had the House and Senate for 2 years didn't do anything. Yeah, their fault.
Okay, I was going to say he did have the Senate.
Oh, I know.
He did have all three things.
Yeah, he did. Okay. And that's the rhinos. I'll have no
Well, you know what? Listen, I'm going to give you a little bit of credit for at least having one strong thing that you disagreed with him on. I don't think anyone buys all their clothes from the same store. So it always makes me very skeptical when there's nothing that Trump can do to wrong for some of these people. So I'll give you credit for that. I'm not really surprised because I thought the First Step Act was one of the good things that he did. So it doesn't surprise me that you didn't like it because we don't agree on much. Howard from Chicago wants to know, would lowering the voting age save our democracy?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, if you look at high schools right now, I think that they're talking about to 16. This generation.
Oh, are they talking about it? I don't know.
Yeah, they were. That was put forth last year, I believe. That was put forth as an option. No, I don't.
Are they just trying to get Claudia Conway to be allowed to vote? Is that what it is?
I think that the TikTok generation does not need to be voting right now. Nope, not a good idea in my book.
Okay, I might co-sign that one with you. Debbie from Omaha wants to know, who is the natural successor to Trump?
Boy, that's a difficult one. I'm a big fan of Tom Cotton. I think that he is excellent. He was the first one to really raise the red flags about coronavirus in China, and he's been very consistent on border issues as well as criticizing felon-friendly policies like the First Step Act. So I'm a big Tom Cotton fan. I think he's very down home. I think he's easy to understand, and he's a good kind of a middle American man. And I think that is somebody that I'm looking towards. But we've got
not Kristi Noem.
She's a great governor for South Dakota, but I think that she's a great governor for South Dakota. I'll leave it at that.
Girl, she's gonna run because I have never seen so many South Dakota tourism ads in my life until the last few. And she's on the face of them. She's speaking in the ad.
Yep.
She's on so many things right now. South Dakota tourism, she's gonna run. I mean, you don't run that many South Dakota tourism ads with the governor speaking unless she wants to raise her national profile. I do believe she's going to run. Tom Cotton scares the shit out of me, but that's another podcast episode for another day. Last one, Cirrus or Cyrus? Sorry, Cirrus or Cyrus. I'm a little bit. I might have messed up your name. From Nashville wants to know, when are you going to run for mayor of Nashville?
Oh boy, I don't like running for office. I don't like the idea of it. But if I were to run for anything, it would be the mayor of Nashville. Because as everybody that follows me know, I'm very critical of this mayor. I watch him like a hawk.
Cyrus must follow you.
Yes, he must. He knows that this is my hot button. I don't move to a place and don't get involved. And I think that you and I, Clay, I think you and I maybe could bond over that, because if I'm going to live
We would
somewhere,
probably run against each other, though,
well,
girl.
but the thing about
okay.
it is even if you're a passionate Democrat or a passionate liberal, I respect people that care about the politics at the local level. Because so many people don't. So many people get so excited about presidential races, maybe even Senate races, but they don't care about their local government. And their local government is what impacts them most.
And state government's really what runs your life.
Yes.
State government, especially. I mean, I get, I'm pissing off them already tonight, so it's okay. But the Electoral College is there for a reason. We don't vote as a country individually. Our states vote for president. Each state votes for president. Each state is represented. The Senate so states really, I mean, I'm not a federalist on a lot of things, but I do believe that we have to remember that the things that most affect our lives on a day-to-day basis happen on a state level and a local level. You're right. So when you're running, girl.
Well, it'll be a little bit, but I'm watching this mayor, and I have some other people that I think would be great to challenge him. But someday, and I'm only 28, so give me a few years. But I'm going to learn a little bit more about Nashville. I've only been here for 6 months, so I'm going to learn a little bit more. I'm going to brush up on my Tennessee knowledge, and then maybe, you never know.
Hey, I'm Clay Aiken. To hear the full episode, subscribe to This Politicon podcast on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to pods. Please subscribe, rate, and review the show. Go to Politicon.com, follow @Politicon on social media, and listen to a new pod episode of How the Heck every Thursday.